Sorry about that. I popped on. I didn't realize I wasn't on screen. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to this very, very professional, YouTube show. I'm glad you're here. I hope everyone had a nice Christmas. I know we're kind of in the middle of Hanukkah, so I hope everyone's having a nice Hanukkah. Those who celebrate Hanukkah. And I hope that everybody has a happy new year coming up. And I know that it's been very, people are very on edge. They're very worried and nervous and, a little irritable. And, I know that the holidays were not kind of normal holidays this year, at least for a lot of people I talked to. It just felt like, I don't know, people were just, it kind of melancholy holidays. But I really feel like we're gonna be okay. We're gonna go through some stuff for sure. And when I say okay, I mean in the big term okay. The big okay. But I also feel like, I put up a thing, and I'm on Blue Sky, and I put up a thing about, that we're stronger than we think. We can do more than we think. We are more agile. We're smarter. We're more creative than we think. Right? When we're faced with things, we can figure out ways to move forward, to help each other, to get through it, and we will. We'll figure this out. We will. And all I can say is, pace yourself, take things a day at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't, go to places where you don't need to when nothing's happened yet. Kind of enjoy this peaceful time that we're having while we have it. And we'll deal with the stuff that comes as it comes. Okay. So, but welcome everybody. Hello, everyone. Looks like the gang's all here. Welcome to the club, Lady Life. Yeah, join our club. It's super fun. And just, anything, you can think to do that's kind of positive for the new year that will just set the right tone and stuff. Do that. Oh, thank you, Gina. Gina emailed Alex Ferrari and told him about the amazing work with Aura. Oh, thank you, Gina. Thank you. I appreciate that. No tornado, James said. So good. No damages, no outages. Good. That's great. So yeah, I hope everybody's safe and doing well. I know we had a tornado in Santa Cruz. It's wacky. It's wacky out there, you guys. Okay, so today is the day that I do spiritual questions, and like I said, you can ask anything that you want to, but I'll kind of probably make it kind of a group thing just so everybody can benefit from the questions. So I might change it to make it more general. But anything spiritual, we don't really do politics, and I'm not really doing kind of politics. I did some on my 2025 predictions a little bit, and as it comes, like as things come up and I feel like I should share it, I will. Oh, Shishi, welcome to the club. So, yeah, so, but I'll be kind of moving away from, but I know that stuff will come up, so I will share it. If things come up or I get information, I will share it with you. I will absolutely do that. And it'll be kind of be how it's been, where I'll put up a video and I'll just kind of say, this is what I got, or this is what's happening, or whatever, as things unfold. But will do a lot of, oh, Jimmy Carter passed away. Oh, bless him. What a guy, right? But he's with his wife, and that makes me so happy. But but what a life well lived, man, right? I mean, an example to all of us. Amazing, amazing. Okay, guys, let's go to the top here. Okay. Everybody's greeting everybody, which is great. James, my thoughts. Craig. Hi, Craig. I always have to say Craig and Clara. Hi, Craig and Clara. Suzanne. Hello, Suzanne. Sacred Crow, Mountain Sunshine, Rhapsody in Rainbow. That's cute. Crystal Blue. Hello, everybody. Michelle Mybell. Millie Malav. Jersey Shore, DL Jersey Shore. Butterflies are free. Oh, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Kevin Lewis Medium's here. We have a guest star. A guest star in the house. Okay. So James says, okay, we were just talking about this. This will be fun or enjoyable, maybe even difficult or painful, but we'll get through it. Yes, we will. We will get through it. Yeah. So let me just say this, okay? This is the only thing I'll say about the election. We know that, for a long time, this has been coming for a long time. We know, first of all, we know what happened in 2016, right? There was a whole Mueller report about what happened then, okay? And then we also know that for years and years, we've been gerrymandered. We've been trying to stop certain segments of the population from voting or throwing out votes or things like that. So, we're just calling a spade here, right? We don't know yet all of the ins and outs about what happened in this election, but, we can surmise. But here's the thing. There's an end game here, and we're hurtling towards it. And it can be less painful and a little longer, or more kind of challenges and shorter. But the end is the same, right? A mass awakening. Sadly, humans mostly wake up when we suffer. I got a message all about, I thought about sharing it in a separate video, but now that you're bringing this up, I'll just share it here. All about the fact that that we're going to have in the next year or two, we're going to have our priorities changed. Our priorities are going to shift. And you can even look at that on the micro level, right? How quickly your priorities can shift when you have a crisis, big or small. I'll give you a good example. This is a little example, but the example, I'll give you the example my guides used. But the example that I thought of is when you are thinking about, work and bills, and you're thinking, oh, I've got to go to work today, and I've got all these bills to pay, and what will I be able to pay next month, and what can I pay this month, and and you're kind of just racking yourself about your job and finances, and then you get up to go to work and you lose your keys, and you can't find them anywhere, right? And all of a sudden, the keys become the most important thing. Your priorities have kind of shifted from this big catastrophic big stuff to this one little thing. And this is the thing. This has all your attention. And that's your priority, right? And then you realize too that, well, if I can't find my keys, I can't even go to work. I will lose my job. I won't even have that. So it almost makes the other thing seem kind of pale in comparison in dealing with the crisis in front of you, right? The example my guides use are probably a better one. I probably should have led with that. Is in this one in Little House on the Prairie episode that they referred back to many times. In fact, I did a whole Mother's Day episode on this one episode where Mary goes blind. They used that because in that episode, Mary goes blind. But what's happening with the B story is that the mill is closing. And so all of the people are going to be thrown out of work, and the town's going to be, financially, be a hardship in the town. And there's this point in it, which is what they were showing me, was when Pa is talking to his friend, and his friend says, and Pa has just found out that Mary's going blind. And, it's just traumatic and sad. And Pa and Mary are the best criers. They're such good criers. So the episode is very emotional. And he's kind of just working, and his friend comes up and says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but they're going to close the mill. It's catastrophic and da-da-da. And he says to him, if you'd have told me that a week ago, I would have been the maddest guy in town. I would have been furious, but you're telling me this now and it doesn't even matter. And it's because his priorities had shifted, right? What really matters is his family, that they're safe and happy and healthy. That's his priority, really. But you lose that in all of the, you get lost in the dream of 3D, and you forget what the real priorities are. Our priorities as a country are going to change. They're going to shift. But what happens is that a lot of times what shifts us in that way to shift our priorities is a challenge, is a crisis. And it can be big and small things. It doesn't have to be the big catastrophic things, but we know that, we can be, upset about this or that, but then a hurricane comes and everybody comes together and they're all, worried about each other's homes and things. Priorities shift. And that's what's going to be happening over the next couple of years. And it's for a reason. It's to make us cooperate, to make us come together. Because we're going to have to. They've been saying this for years. I've been singing this tune for years and years. This is nothing new. Just the packaging is different. And that's what happens when free will is involved. And this was the point of this, is that free will is involved here. I don't know what, like I said, I felt in my 2025 predictions, I feel information coming in and nothing being done with it. That's free will, right? So free will has something to do with this. It doesn't mean what we think may have happened didn't happen. It means that there's free will here. People can do something about it or not. And they're sitting on it right now. I don't know why. But either way, we're going to have our priorities shifted fairly quickly. And things are going to tend to happen more quickly with Trump. It's going to be rougher. It's going to be a rougher road. But we have to, and that's where this comes in about being very self-minded, right? Get centered, have your spiritual toolbox ready, and be ready to kind of lend a hand where you can see it, but you have to make sure that you're okay first. That's number one. And that has been, again, I've been singing this song forever. You have to make sure you're okay first. You have to keep filling that well, right? And then you can share the water. You can share you can give, but you have to make sure you're okay first. And that you're not becoming unconscious with everybody else running around unconscious. You've got to make sure you're okay. All right. So get into that mode now where you're checking in with yourself every day and you're checking in with your guides every day, right? You're getting that flow going so you can have that flow to kind of move into that higher consciousness state or that higher self state so that you can get that wiser, calmer advisement when you need it. Okay, but it doesn't. It can come just because it just comes, But checking in every day with your guides, even just sitting in stillness for a couple minutes and just breathing, just kind of getting into that going inside, right? Letting everything go and just going inside and just keeping that connection there. It will help so much. Right. Okay. So let me explain this. This is I'm glad you're bringing this up, Sacred Crown, because this is part of it. Okay. So let me explain this because I get messages all the time. That's just the way that I roll. But let me explain something about this. And she says, I don't know if anyone else is experiencing a crisis in belief or crisis of faith, right? I'm unable to watch many channels because I don't know what to believe anymore. So this is all part of it, Sacred Crown, because it's great to watch channels and to hear people's experiences and to hear NDEs. I mean, those things kind of lift me up as well. But here is the truth. You have to know it for yourself, okay? You can only depend on reading books, listening to other people, going off their experiences so much. And after a while, it just becomes, it's not that you become numb to it, but it's almost like I've heard all this before, that kind of thing. So you have to start reaching in to have your own experiences, right? So we're reading A New Earth right now. And one thing that Eckhart Tolle says, you can drink. I just said it. Eckhart Tolle, the one thing that he says over and over and over again is don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself, right? Go inside yourself. So here, I want you to do this, Sacred Crown, okay? And anyone else who wants to do this, okay? Go sit in a space, a quiet space, and ask yourself the question. We did this exercise in our group. Who am I? Who am I? And don't answer in your mind. Don't start saying, I'm Sacred Crone and I work here and I do this. We're not talking about your surface self. We're talking about the deeper I, your being, that part of you that's connected. And I can tell you right now, what's disconnecting you or what's making you feel like is fear. It's fear. It's what if all of this is just garbage? What if everyone's just lying to me? It's fear, right? You have to, and part of this is about, all of this is about people finding out for themselves. People going in and trusting their own intuition, connecting with their guides, connecting with their higher self. I could tell you all day long stories, personal experiences that I've had, right? Those are good for me and I can share them. They're only good for anyone else to a point, right? Eckhart Tolle uses the example of honey, right? You could read stories about honey. You can watch Winnie the Pooh. You can see films about honey. You can, read dissertations about honey. You can read biology things about honey. You can read about the honeybee. You do not know honey until you've tasted honey, right? You have to experience it yourself. So I'm glad you're bringing this up because you're right. Belief is just belief. Faith is just faith. At some point, there has to be something that is yours that you can hang your hat on, that you can say, I know this because it happened to me. I know this because I experienced it. But try that exercise and feel the answer. Don't think it. Try to feel the answer. And the question is, who am I? And try to let go of the identity that's here because that's not the answer. There's a deeper I, right? There's that quiet observer in the background, that spirit self, the spirit. that's here having this experience. And if you can just link in, even just for a moment, and just feel that bigger I, you'll have something. And you'll say to yourself, there's something here. There's something, I feel it. There's something else here. But we're having this experience, and the experience itself is separateness, separate bodies, separate brains. It's the illusion of separation. To experience that, and to try to bring love into situations that are where most of our being is based in fear because of that separateness. And we can't remember, right? We have sorry, something on my finger. We've got, this memory lapse that happens when we come into this atmosphere. It's for a reason. It's so that we can concentrate on this experience, right? I'm going to do a video. In fact, I'll do it today because I think people need to hear it. All about what happens when we pass. And so, but yeah, so don't have faith anymore, Sacred Crone. Go inside and start reaching for and asking for your own experiences, because that's what's most important here. Okay. And it just shows me too that you're ready for them. That's what, because now it's almost like something's missing, or this person's wrong, or I don't know about this person. And it's like everything's kind of being rocked. And that's another thing that's going to be happening for everybody here, is we're going to have a lot of that, where I thought I could count on this institution, but it's being rocked. I thought I could count on this party, but it's being rocked. And in part of that, again, it's to make us see things in a new way, and build things back up in a way that we want to have them be. It's to make us look at things differently. It's to make us to kind of have those kind of kind of that existential crisis where you start, what is it called? I can't think of the name of it right now, where you have you kind of have a crisis of belief, and you have to start kind of going inside and figuring out what is going on. And it's a really, the dark night of the soul, It's awful. It's an awful feeling, but I feel like that's kind of what you're going through, Sacred Crow, because this is what it feels like. It feels like, what's even true? What can I believe? Is this really real? Is this stuff really real? It has all the hallmarks of that. And so, but it's going to be like on a mass level that we're going to be going through this. And usually it starts with a shaking up of your world. Someone dies unexpectedly. You lose your job unexpectedly. It's usually something like that, where it's kind of big, but also sudden. And so you just feel like your whole, like everything's off. What just happened. And that's what that is. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that I know that was a long time for one answer, but I think this is important, Sacred Crone. And so update us and let us know what happens and how things, how things go. Yes, I hope so too. I loved your 2025 video. Thank you. Hoping more people learn emotional intelligence, valuable skill to learn, act versus react emotionally. And then that is the thing, right? Everybody's, and I don't blame anybody. Everybody's on edge. Everybody, and also everybody wants to hear what they want to hear, right? And if you don't tell them what they want to hear, then it really is like, what's going on? I'm going from where we are right now. Things can change. Things can always change. But yeah, and I get it. But I'm also kind of fragile as the baby bird right now. I just feel a little fragile. Cassie's been was sick for a long time since Thanksgiving. She's better now. She's feeling better now. But it's sometimes it gets to me having a daughter that far away and all of this stuff happening. It's I'm just a person. I'm just a person like any other old person. But yeah, so yes. And how I do the show normally I will connect in with the guides, but and I will do this for this question. But if I can answer it, I will. If I have something to say about it, I will. But I will also ask my guides, which I'm going to ask right now. Okay. Are more of the collective beginning to wake up? Yeah, they are. And they're saying it will come in waves. So, because it does feel like, something will happen, a bigger, you know, something unexpected will happen, which we have a lot of that right now because we have a lot of natural disasters. We've had these plane disasters lately and things like that, where it's kind of this kind of a wave will happen because like I said, we learn through adversity, but they're saying it will happen in waves and it's happening. And to me, it feels like we're reaching a point that it's like a lot of people have been waking up, especially through like COVID. And but they're even showing the Twin Towers. So I feel like maybe something started then or whatever, or we were starting into this more like bigger events happening for like masses of people. So they're showing something about that, but you think about that and what that also rolled us into, which were these wars and things like that. And we know that war is it's an awful thing, but we also know that there are tons of people that wake up during a war. Soldiers on the battlefield have talked about like awakenings, mass awakenings happening. So, and spirit is very aware of and very good at that, at knowing the way to pull out positivity out of a negative. Right? It's so obvious to me that we're always moving to higher ground because even the hardest, worst, most difficult things have always like propelled us into something more evolved, a different way of thinking. And sometimes it kind of fades. Like we're kind of seeing the fade of like the afterglow of World War II, right? There was this whole, we had NATO and we had all this kind of an awakening of, what horrible things, mankind can do to each other. But all of those people are passing away. So we're having kind of a revisit of some of this stuff. That's kind of like, it's so clear to me. It's almost like an old, like, monster coming back, it's like that kind of feeling where it's like it's coming back, but it will be put down again and then will be even evolved more. It's so clear to me when you look at history too. You can just see how we kind of go into this what feels like we're moving backwards and then this surge forward. And then we're moving backwards and a surge forward. It's so clear to me what's happening, and it's exciting to be here in so many ways because I know we all wanted to be here for this. We're here. We wanted to be here, and we were excited about it. We knew we could help in some way. Wanted to be part of this. And some of us got lost, in the materialism or in, whatever happened. But a lot of us are waking up because this is what we're here to do. We're here to be here and to lift in not just the people on earth, the entire earth plane, raising it to a new vibration, a higher vibration. It's a very exciting time and a long time coming, right? Think about all of us, in the big picture of coming back and coming back and coming back and trying to get to this place where we're finally kind of here. Because the other reason I know that we're kind of here is because of the explosion of technology, right? My guides have said that's part of it. It's because we're so obviously connected around the world, and things are getting out, all these spiritual channels that are coming up, all of the sharing that is going on. This is waking people up too. There are lots of ways to wake up. It's just that we tend to get very focused in on issues and problems in our own life and get kind of, into the drama of our life. And we need something to kind of jolt us awake. And that is something like a death or a disaster or losing this or losing that. It wakes us up, and all of a sudden our priorities have shifted, and we're aware that there's more to all of this. There's more to this than meets the eye. Yeah. Okay, so yes, we are. It may not feel like it, but we are. Okay, so Mary Ann. Yeah. One second. Let me ask if there's anything we need to know about, because Mary Ann is asking about having a difficult time with meditation at this time. Are the depressing energies affecting me? So they're talking about clearing out energy kind of before you start, like maybe burning sage or saying a prayer or something to kind of it's not really, because they're showing a visual of like, there's kind of a because there's a lot of fear right now. There's a collective kind of fear and worry and nervous, especially in the United States. A lot of fear and anxiety and worry, right? And so those are kind of, just think of them as more heavier energies, because it's not like, evil coming into your house or anything. It's just that they're heavier. And what you're trying to do is lighter and faster, right? And so it's almost like you're trying to kind of, it's kind of like they're showing like the visual of a plane moving through clouds and getting up, and there's the sun, right? But you have to have some kind of like, it's almost like a lift. And so just clearing things out before you start meditating. So, doing like a prayer of, please, clear out any lower level energies. Please help me to kind of raise my vibration and get into meditation. It's clearing out these lower level energies that just are kind of around. It also might be within you as well. They just said they might be within you. So also making sure that you're okay, that you're kind of like, reminding yourself everything's going to be okay. I'm right here. I'm right now. Everything is fine in this room. Everything's quiet. Everything is still. Everything is fine. Kind of bringing yourself to the here and now to remind yourself, I'm not out there. Even though it's in my mind and I'm thinking about it, I'm not out there right now. I'm right here. And everything's fine. Everything's quiet. Everything's, kind of bringing yourself back to the present moment and reminding yourself that you're safe. Because what will tend to happen is those thoughts will intrude, right? Those things will come in, and you'll be like, ugh, if I stop thinking about it for 1 minute, the world's going to go crazy. I've got to focus in. So, okay. So that's what they're saying. Clear beforehand, and also make sure that you are here and now before you begin. Okay. Mother of Giants is here and happy to catch me live. I'm happy you're here too. Okay, what is the light body? Yeah, and I acknowledge Jimmy Carter passing. But like I said, what a life well lived, and what a great example for us all. Yeah, what an amazing guy. And I'm so happy he's with his wife. I think he missed her so much. I would always feel that just like heartache when I would see him, that he just missed her so much. So I'm so glad he and Rosalind are together. Okay. All right. All right. What is the light body? They're saying like it's so it is your spirit, but it is like an imprint of your body. And I feel like it can, like, you can hold it as long as you want to. So it is energy. It is light. Like if we saw it, it would look like light, or it would be transparent. But it holds the imprint of your body. And so it makes me feel like a lot of people, when you see like a full body apparition, you're seeing their light body, and it's a form you can hold. And I feel like it's at will. Like you can hold that form if you want to. And I feel like a lot of people, that's the form you'll like when you see like people on the other side, you cross the veil and you go to the other side and you start seeing family members. They're in their light body form. And basically they're saying it's like if you, I mean, they've said this before, but it is like it's if you saw your relative or your family member on their happiest, healthiest, least burdened day, that's what it kind of looks like. It emanates it's like a perfect body form, but it holds the form of like whatever form that you were. And I feel like it's kind of like it's they just said reflective. So there is something about it reflecting what body or what form you were just in. And I feel like it's at will. Like you can have that, or you can change it. But that's what the light body is. But I feel like it is like inside of us, like right now, like we have that, but it's not necessarily like inside us. It's not like, it's like there's another version of me inside me. It doesn't always like look like that or hold that form, but it's almost like when we come out of the body, it like automatically kind of holds that form. It is like a reflection of what you just went through, or what you were just part of. So there's that holding that. And I feel like they're bringing up the eyes. They're saying the eyes are kind of the thing that is always held. That the light body, there's something about the eyes that there is, I don't know what this is. I don't know what they're trying to say, but it's almost like the eyes are the only thing that never ever change. Like in every form, the light in your eyes, or there's something with your eyes, not necessarily the color or the shape or whatever. It's something in there that it's like it holds the light. And so whatever form you're in, that is the same. It like that does not change. But the rest of the light body, it's like it can shift. I can look like me in this life, or I can look like me in the French Revolution or whatever. It's like you can, but when you first come out, or when you see other people, it will hold that form. And I feel like you can be that form all the time. Like I feel like if we went into the spirit realm right now, we'd see a bunch of light bodies, right? We'd see a bunch of people in their light body form. So I feel like it's held most of the time. They just said in certain places. So if you're out of that certain dimensions, you may not hold that form. You may go into a different form that's more, just like we do here. We go into a body, right? And we're in kind of a different form. Same thing with other dimensions. So see, I'm learning something. But if you're in certain realms within like heaven, I guess heavenly realms, or things connected to earth, you hold kind of a light body form. But if you go outside of that, you you can change forms, or you change forms because of where you're going, or because of the different atmosphere that it is. Your energy will change. But seems like the light body form is kind of the form you hold when you're here, or when you're like in these realms. But there's something they're trying to tell me something about the eyes, and I just feel like I'm not quite grasping it. But it seems like it's like that's the only thing that like is the same light, lifetime after lifetime. But it's the light. It's almost like the I don't know what is this. It's like you can see the spirit through the light of the eyes, or something like that. It is like the window to the soul. So there's something about that that is accurate, that is correct. Does that make sense? That makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay. This is a good question, James. I'm going down to something all over the place because we only have a few minutes left. But um, do those in spirit see us physically? Like they would see us naked in the shower or having sex? Or do they see our energy? They don't have physical senses anymore, do they? No, no. And they do see us. But here's an interesting little tidbit. The body has no, they see the body as very functional, as like a machine almost. There's no like wanting to stare at people in the shower or anything like that. There's none of that. They see the body as very much like a function. And they're giving me the example of like seeing other people and seeing people in their cars. Like you might like look at a car, or notice a car, but you wouldn't be, you know, it's about that much interest as you would like seeing someone driving in a car. It's just it's like a machine that we're just in, and we're holding to have this experience. It doesn't have any interest for them, that kind of thing. It just isn't. It's not a thing. um I can't explain it any other way. But the body is seen as kind of like a machine. It's kind of like it's what we have to be in to function here, to have an experience here. What's most important, and what have gotten before, is that it's our experiences that they're interested in, and it's the lessons learned from the experiences, and also how we deal with experiences, right? So the physical things like going to the bathroom and going, it's like that's just functional. It has nothing. It does not mean anything. It when it is when it is when it is important is when it's part of the overall experience and learning, and how we're like meeting challenges. So like a body that is in decline because of an illness would be of interest to them, or interest to other spirits, because we're having a moment of soul growth, right? And so but it's not the body itself that's interesting, it's what's coming out of that experience. Does that make sense? So hopefully that makes sense. But they see the body as nothing, and the functions that it does is nothing more, is just like almost like a machine. It's just functional. They know that it's how we have to function here, and they know that it's yeah, that's the best way I can say it. um okay. Looking for questions, looking for questions. Looking for questions. And I love that Yeah. Okay. So James, another James question. This is a James show. But okay, I'm going to share something. Take this as you will. Okay. But I'm going to share something. And I should, because I need to ask. I need your help. Actually, I need to get some understanding of this. But back when I did my show did the show with Danny, before we got on, I said, I've been getting these messages that we're heading into another mass exodus, meaning lots of people leaving at once in groups. But I said and I was telling this to Danny before the show, I said, but I get it that it's not going to be like COVID where it's one thing. It's going to be a bunch of different things, a bunch of little smaller things, and groups of people will be leaving. Okay. So, but again, you don't, as a reader, you're not really sure what you want to share. And like I said, everybody's on edge anyway. So I didn't want to be like, there's going to be a mass exodus. I didn't want to bring up that as well. It's like we're dealing with enough right now, right? But this is part of that. And I'm going to share this. I'm just going to share it. This is the right audience to share it with. I'm going to share this, and you guys can tell me what you think. And I'm going to go down to see what you guys say. But when I was asking about this, I got up this morning at 4 a.m, and which is normal because my animals wake me up at 4 a.m. And I was doing what I normally do. I feed the pets, and then I kind of do some housework, which is, I'm not weird that way, but I just like, it's just something to do, and it kind of gets me centered. And then I do some meditation. That's when I usually meditate. I might do a little bit of work. But this morning when I was doing that, I was doing scrubbing my floors, and I was kind of going over the mass exodus, and I was thinking about these plane crashes. And then I asked the question, why now? Why does like all this happens now? And they said, and this is the part where I'm like, I need to explain this. It's the end of phase 2. It's the end of phase 2. And then I saw things like World War II, the Twin Towers, COVID, even the wars, all the wars going on, and the wars kind of in different pockets, and when I was going, and then I always go back to bed after I'm doing this. So I go back to bed, and I know, right? Susan's like, it's a phase 2. And I said, no, I think phase 1 started at World War II. That's where I think it's that phase 1 started. And then phase 2, I think started, phase 1 ended somewhere, and it may be the Twin Towers. And then phase 2 kind of started. And I think that now we're getting to the end of phase 2. But apparently there's these mass exoduses at the end of these phases, or the beginning and the end, And so as I was going back to sleep, I said to them, to my guides, and this is normal for me, you guys. I don't, it's just normal for me. That's all I can say. I said, as I was going to sleep, because that's when I can get a lot of information. So what happens in phase 3? And I was like shifted to this, like a pre-birth memory. And I was standing in our light bodies. So you mentioned light bodies, in our light bodies, and there were millions of spirits. And I remember I was standing and looking straight ahead, and it looked like, let me just tell you what it looked like, because, and I didn't intend to talk about any of this, but now that it's coming up, I'll just say it. Because I also need your help, because I want to ask you something. What it looked like was kind of like Roman, or I'm not good with architecture, or Greek or something, but everything was made of light. It looked like it was like buildings, but made of light. And I was standing with millions of spirits, and I kind of could see it from like a third person point of view. And then I would go back to like my first person point of view, because I was in the group. They were trying to show me I was in this group. And I kept saying to myself, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And I was just, it was a euphoric excitement that I have never felt in life. That's how it was, like almost beyond anything I've ever felt here, because I just felt like we're all going, and we're all doing this together. And it was just like excitement. And as I looked forward, this light, like a giant, this giant light went from the floor and just shot up like to infinity. It just shot up to infinity. And I felt like, it was weird because I felt like it wasn't like cheering, but it was like as if it was like the feeling of pure joy. And everybody was just thrilled, excited, thrilled. And I thought this, what it said to me was that this is why we're here. This is why we're here. And who knows, maybe I'll go out in phase 2. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of us are here because we're meant to be in phase 3, which is the great awakening. The only, and this is where I want your help. This is where I want your help, is because the only thing I could think of that I've heard of like 3 like that, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, was the 3 waves of volunteers, the Dolores Cannon thing. That's the only thing I could think of that was like that. And so, yes, thank you, Gloria. Yeah, we did talk about Jimmy Carter, and we said that he was amazing. And I was saying that I was glad he's with his wife because he missed her so much. But yes, what a wonderful, amazing man, amazing example to us all. But that was the only thing I could think of. And so, and Gina said she put something above. So that was my experience. That just happened today. That was just an experience today. But I was like, but the whole thing sounds so, like space agey or something. It's all phase 2 has ended. It was weird. So I don't know, but that's what I got. And I felt, and it felt like these kind of mass leavings are like, they're done. Like they were here for phase 1 and then they left. And then some people are here until phase 2 is done and then they leave. And now we're in phase 3. And I felt like this is the last, like this is it. And I've always felt like this is the end of kind of, and who knows, it could be 30 years or 40 years. I mean, I don't know, but I've always felt like when it comes to these lower level energies, it's like a going out of business sale, that spirits are coming in to experience these things for the last time because we're not going to have them here anymore. And if you want to have this experience, you better come in and have it now, because these things are going. And so we're seeing this one kind of big clash of a lot of it right now, but this is why. Sorry, Gina, I'm looking for you. Oh, ended the job of the second wave of volunteers. Dolores Cannon, is it for the third wave? Is it forward? Yes, that's the only thing I could think of now. And this is why I needed your help, because I didn't know if there's anything like in the Bible or anything in the Quran or any text or any other kinds of things that I don't know about. Well, Sandra, you're here, so you're definitely you're at least in phase 2 or 3, and that's what I keep thinking. I'm like, well, I'm either in phase 2 or phase 3. I'm one of those. 2035, every ending is another new beginning. Yeah. So, but isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy? Yes, Gloria. Yeah, I know. Jimmy Carter. Third wave are very spiritually aware and will support the ascension. I'm so excited. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I'm assuming I'm in phase 3. If I was, because they showed me, that group, and it was, I cannot even explain. It was like it could be billions, but it was like millions of souls. But the weird thing was, it felt like we felt like a family. Like we're all doing this. We're all going. It was so exciting. I'm even getting chills now thinking about it. But yeah. Kevin says it's also biblical. Okay, so yeah, but when I got it, I was just like, phase 2. They're like, phase 2 is ending, phase 3 is now beginning. But that's part of what's going on, is that a bunch of another wave is kind of leaving, and that it's obviously it's devastating here, because we're experiencing these groups of people leaving. So it's hard on humanity. But it was kind of like, it was, when they said it was very practical. It was like, phase 2 is ending, and it was weird too, because there was part of me that kind of like knew or something, but I didn't. It was like on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember. But I felt like that's right. But what is that? And what's phase 3? And what's going on? Is Dolores Cannon the one you mentioned who denounced all her predictions and backpedaled, or am I thinking of someone else? No, that's someone else. Yeah, no, she was, and she wasn't really a prediction. She was a researcher. She wasn't a predictor. She was that's Doreen Virtue. Yeah, she went all whatever she went. So yeah, so that was, so I know it's not, I know it might be cold comfort in a lot of ways, but there is something going on that is both sort of planned. And also, I also felt like, this with COVID. It's kind of like, if we're not here by this time, this is going to happen. If we're not here by this time, this is going to happen. That's what it kind of felt like. And so I feel like these things are put in place not to absolutely happen, but they will happen if they need to happen, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, so that's, yeah, I feel like this year is going to be really a lot of like major people, like major players kind of leaving the earth plane, if you know what I mean. I felt like it's gonna be a weird, very like crazy year, and so that's why I say, get your spiritual toolbox ready. The third wave, I hope so, Gina. Although I don't know. It seems pretty crazy. I don't know. But I think, definitely. I mean, I know for me, I felt this need to just meditate and stay very locked in with my guide, so that I can get messages easily and bring them forward easily. And so this is why there are well, I mean, Dark Mother, it's what came to mind for me when I heard that, when I kept seeing another plane crash. And then I was reminded of that this is, there's another mass exodus coming, and it would happen in lots of different ways. It doesn't mean that every single thing that happens is part of it, but if it's unusual stuff, right? Weird stuff where it's like, that's weird that happened, like that giant earthquake that happened. It was a mass exodus. It was huge. It was weird. It was in a weird place. It was, it's completely unexpected. When it's stuff like that, I always feel like there's a reason for it. There's something going on here. We do not understand, but we need to take note of it because there's something going on here. Rob Falciano, the astrology also follows that a big 2,000-year cycle is ending as we go into Aquarius. And I've dreamt about Aztec prophecies too. They all point to the next cycle. Thank you, Rob. That makes me feel not crazy. It makes me feel not crazy. But yeah, I wasn't even going to mention all of this stuff, but I just thought, well, we're all just here, and this is all very open-minded people. And yes, Sandra, definitely, if you're a meditator, this is the time. Yes, go into your meditations and try different things. Silent meditation is not for everybody. Try different types of meditation. Try, adding physicalness with it, doing yoga or doing, Tai Chi or things like that. But yeah, do things that appeal to you and seem like, oh, that seems like that would calm me or make me centered. Some people work anything that brings you to the present, working in your garden or taking a walk or sitting with nature or, anything like that kind of gets you centered and just kind of in the here and now. But it's not for everybody, so don't give up. If you don't like meditation, don't give up. Just try to find things that bring you to the present moment. I like housework. That for some reason that works for me. I get lots of messages that way. And yeah, Susan, we were talking about Jimmy Carter. Thank you for my, I know that's a hard one, but it also is weird that, like, I don't know, maybe he's part of this in a way. Maybe he's a marker for us, in some way. It's interesting. It was also, I had a thought about him that I had about Princess Diana, because I remember I was sitting in my apartment in Salt Lake City. I lived in Salt Lake in the 90s. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm so excited and happy that I'm on the earth the same time she is. Because I knew there was something special, that was something different about her. And I had the same thought about Jimmy Carter. But I thought, I'm so happy that I could spend all this time on the earth plane with him here. It was just such an honor, So I think there's something kind of, that would say special, because we're all, we're all exceptional spirits because we're here, period. All of us. But there's something different about him. You're definitely on track, Kim. Seeing Roman buildings. It makes sense because 45 is like Nero, the last of the bad emperors. He might be Nero. I love it, Rob. And thank you again for not making me feel like I'm normal. Like I'm actually seeing what I'm seeing, because it was weird. It was definitely weird, and definitely like a memory, definitely had that memory feel, not like a vision or like because I have those all the time where, my guides will give me something and it did not feel like that at all. Yeah, I know, Leslie Ray. That is fascinating, Rob. Thank you for jumping on and sharing that. Yeah, I love this, Paisley. Thank you. Find a way, whatever, however, whenever is your right answer. I absolutely agree with that. We're all different, right? So, and that's why it's good we're all sharing, right? Because something that works for me may work for you. But if you're like, I've never been able to meditate and it makes me frustrated, I don't like it, do something different. Any activity that brings you to the here and now, or kind of gives you that losing time kind of feel, where you're kind of feel like it's almost like you're in a dreamlike state. Same thing. It's the same kind of feeling. It's the same kind of meditative state. Some people get like messages when they drive. So driving is like that for them. Some people get it when they're, doing some kind of art or, music or, anything like that, that can be very immersive. That's the state we're talking about. And that's the state that you're linking into something that's bigger than you. And you're available to it, right? You're opening up in a way that you're available to it. Okay. Oh, his life review is going to be amazing. They'll be so jelly. Like, you had the best life ever. Weird is Rob's specialty. Oh gosh, I hate to let you guys go, but you got to get on with your Sunday. I've got to get on with my Sunday. Yeah, exercise. Yeah, that's another one. And even if you get in a zone when you exercise, but also if you, I have found that if I move for a few minutes, like run in place for a few minutes and then sit and just like move into kind of your heartbeat and feel your breathing and stuff, it can be very kind of move you into that meditative state as well. Flow state, exactly. Yeah. When you're in flow, it's not just that you're in flow with body, mind, spirit, you're in flow with the spirit realm as well. Yeah. You're so welcome. Yeah, deep breathing is amazing. It really, yeah, it's a great, it's good for lots of things. It really, really is. Okay, thanks everybody. I'm going to let you guys go and have a great Sunday. And I'll see everybody. I haven't sent out the link yet for our New Earth group, but I'll send it out today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. And otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday. Oh, and our the club, I'll have the calendar out on the 1st. Maybe the day before, maybe on New Year's Eve. I might have it out then. And then on the 1st, I'll also be putting up the spirit guided message and practice for the club. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out for a really weird Sunday. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.